Oh, we're live. Okay, that was so swift. Hi, everybody. I am Amanda Elise, and I am here today with Curtis, or the Realist Idealist. Tell everybody hello.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hey. So, me and Curtis have been chatting for a really long time about doing a webinar. And so finally, we got together and we came up with two beautiful topics of knowledge of self and self love. So we're just going to be chatting today, and we hope that it serves you. And so, first, I'm just going to start by talking to Curtis and just asking him. He mentioned that he just went through something, so uh, positive. So, Curtis, do you want to tell everybody about that?
Okay, yeah. So basically, for the people who just now started to know me or just don't know me at all, a few years I went through what I would call like a spiritual awakening, and my consciousness just expanded. And a lot of the old beliefs I had, like the old paradigms that wasn't serving me, I kind of allowed myself to just let that go. And through that transition, I just kind of grew so much. And the way how I am, I kind of go through certain phases where, just kind of like the universe, everything has a season, so everything has an up and a down, and a time of growing and a time of, I don't really want to say dying, but a time of just sitting back, and then your rebirth again. And recently I went through this rebirthing stage. So for like the past few months, I would say, I just kind of slowed down a little bit and just allowed myself to really dive deeper again. And I feel like I went through like a second awakening, or like the next phase to my journey. And the things that I found out pretty much for myself, it was a deeper understanding of who I truly am and who we truly are as human beings and as like eternal spiritual beings. So I feel like I don't even know where to begin. It's just so much. But at the same time, it's like, in order to really get a grasp out of what we need to do in our lives through our journey, no matter what it is, I feel like it all stems from knowing who you are. Like, one of my favorite quotes that I love so much is "Know thyself." And I kind of live by that, because if you don't know who you are, who you truly are, then what do you really know? Because like a few years ago, before I had my awakening, before I had any experiences like this, if you was to ask me, do I know who I am? I would say, yeah. Most people would say, yeah. Most people know, or they think they know who they are. But most people would say, okay, who are you? They will give you their name. They will give you what they do for a living. They will give you the nationality, their race. But those are not what you are. Those are things that you have. Those are labels that you subscribe to. But that's not who you truly are. But who you truly are, it really can't put into, it really can't be put into words. It's something you have to know from within. It's one of those things where human language is so limited, where there's only so much we could really say physically, but it has to come from within. So that's why you have to truly know who you are from within in order to fully grasp that concept. So during my awakening a few years ago, I kind of had like a real understanding of who I truly was. But as of recently, as Amanda was just referring to, I kind of went through another phase where it just, I dove deeper, and my consciousness expanded, and I'm starting to know truly, truly even more, because we are infinite. So I truly believe in our human form, there's no way we could really grasp the entirety of it, because we are so infinite. But there's always room for progression. There's always room for growth. So the more and more that we truly take that time to be self-conscious, we will get closer and closer to the truth every single time. And it just keeps growing and expanding from there. And from there, if you have that type of understanding of who you are and who we truly are, then I feel like everything else you need to do in life would just be so much easier, because of that one understanding. And I have this, this knowing, this belief that we are all connected. We are all one. Everything is in unity together. So if you understand who you truly are, then you pretty much understand everything. Like the quote is, know thyself and you shall know the universe and God. So I kind of definitely kind of live by that philosophy because I see it within my life. So the things that I'm really starting to understand, like on two different ways, two different levels, in my human form, I understand kind of my own strengths and weaknesses and how to work with certain things, that like how to work with people, how to work more effectively within myself, how to move just with the flow of life. And I feel like you have to know who you are on a human level, so when obstacles come, you won't be, it won't hit so hard, you won't be truly defeated. You know, it might be little setbacks, but if you know who you truly are, you will know how to bounce back up, how to recover from anything that might come to you. But on the more grand scheme of things, uh finding out who you are, like in the eternal sense, that could help as well. Like in the grand scheme of things, like what is your purpose? Like what do you believe that you are here for? Because you know, everybody have different reasons why they want to be here. Everybody have different desires, but I feel like in figuring that out, we have to know who we are in order to reach that. Because like I said, if you don't know who you are, then what else do you truly know? Because we only know our own experiences. Like the only things that I know for sure is the things that I've experienced, the things that I've been through, the things that I just know for myself. And sure, I could take someone else's story or someone else's information and use it as a guide, but I won't ever truly know it unless it comes from within myself. So that's why I feel like it's the biggest thing to truly know who you are on all levels, so you could fulfill your desires and you could just not be slowed down and hindered when obstacles come. So I'm not sure if that exactly pretty much that kind of just paints a picture of what I've been through, like in a nutshell. To keep a long story short, that's what I basically just understood. And I feel like it's very important for people to know that. And I feel like that's something that's, it could be easily overlooked because people believe that they know who they truly are. But I feel like most people, they truly know their ego. But we want to look past that a little bit more and get to the essence, get to the core of everything of who we are. You
So
know,
let me,
yeah.
yeah, so let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
First, I was just going to ask, who are you? But I think I'm going to transition into like a different question I want to ask. So
Okay.
you say that if you know you don't want to know yourself by the ego, and you want to know who you truly are, like the essence of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also say, but we're all connected.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
you say know thyself, do you mean are you talking about that each of us has a different essence, or are you saying at a fundamental level we're all the same?
Okay, that's a good question. It's kind of both. So like when I say like know who you are on a human level, well that kind of is like knowing your ego too. Because I know a lot of people, I always say this, a lot of people kind of demonize the ego and say kill the ego, but I feel like everything that we have is for a reason. So we have to nurture it. We have to, oh, hold on, hello?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Nurture the ego. And ego could be used for negative and positive. So to know who we are on a human level, know ourselves on an ego basis, like in a loving way, so we could grow from that as well. But just like you said, so when I say like we are connected, like on the eternal level, yes, that inner knowing, it will all be the same. It will all be the same. Not the interpretation wouldn't be the same for everyone, but that entity we're speaking of, that force, is the same for everyone. Like what makes us us, because you know everything in the universe is made up from that one source. So we are a part of that, of course. So when you truly know what that is from within, then we're all tapping into that same essence we're aligning with. and some people will call that God, some people call it the universe. There's many different names and translations for it, but just to truly know what that is, who you are from within, and not from a book, not from what anybody have told you. It's cool to use it as a guide, like I said, but to truly know it for yourself within, to feel it, to connect with it, and to align with it. But on the other side, what you were saying, the ego as well. And like for me, I know like something that I learned that kind of helped me out in my journey a lot, especially when it comes to me and what I do for work. It's like I like to I have a lot of interests, but when I develop a new interest, I like to fully immerse myself in it. Like I'm like one of those people who's like either 100% or nothing. So I always just dive in 100%. But I've realized that when I do that, I sometimes burn myself out too quickly. So I have to know if I want to build a foundation where I have to do something with, to get longevity. I have to make myself, I have to like make myself go at a certain pace and not to burn myself out. And me just kind of having that inner balance to still be 100% in, but not overkill myself. That's that type of knowing yourself, like on an ego level, on a human level. So I feel like when you balance that, who you are on a human ego level, and you balance that with the knowing of you're infinite, you could do anything, then that's when the power comes in, and that's when that type of focus that will lead you to your desires, and if any obstacles come, you're able to easily transcend it because you just have that inner knowing. That inner knowing is really powerful, but like I said, that inner knowing can only truly come from within, because if you don't truly know it from within, it's just a belief. And beliefs are powerful, but to know it, that's just a whole nother level. So that's the kind of thing that I kind of discovered from myself, and I like to just share with people.
So if someone were to ask you, who are you? What would you say?
The best way I could put it in words, I am pretty much, I'm just an infinite being in human form. And I just know, like, sure, I may have limits in my human form, but at the same time, to just know that there's this huge untapped power I have within me that I could align with and just cultivate and create with. It's just a truly powerful feeling, and I feel like it's very empowering, and to know that, it just makes, for me, it just makes a lot of things easier, and I don't get as blocked, or I don't get in my own way as I used to, you know. So I mean, like I said, I really can't put it into words, but that's the best, simplest way that I could put it. Just like I'm just an infinite being. It doesn't really have a label or a name, but that's the thing that I could just, if I was to paint a picture of that, that's what it would be. Just infinite, you know.
So I love what you said about like, and it's so funny, you know how one person could say something, but different people could hear it different ways. So
Yeah.
this is how I like interpreted it and then made it like an action item for myself. You know, you were saying like you're infinite, and if you put your power in, all of your power into one thing. Recently, I've been thinking a lot about the fact that I have goals, and I don't feel like I've been super like one pointed focused on them. I've
Okay.
kind of been yeah, I'm not like having fun doing, you know, just not being. I take that back. I actually did the same thing as you. I actually got burned out from
Yeah.
something. But anyway, there's another goal that I really is like most important to me, and I haven't been doing that like one pointed thing that I usually do in order to manifest. So I agree with you. I feel that we're all infinite, and if we all really used all of our God-given power and energy and focus, like we could literally move mountains. I mean, we could literally bend spoons, you know, like there's obviously been reports of people doing it. You know, not saying we're anything like Jesus, but I mean, Jesus was an amazing healer. He used all of his power. So what tips would you have for someone who has a goal and is like, you know what, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to hit my goal. I'm ready to use all of my power. What action items or tips would you give them?
All right. The most important thing that I could say, just speaking on experience from my own journey and things that I've been through, I would say is to develop a high self-awareness. Like, okay, so through our journey, to learn who we are, that's one thing. But the next thing is to stay focused on it, to be self-aware. Because if this information is new for you now, you're gonna have to retrain your mind, retrain yourself to even align with that. So a lot of our old paradigms, our old ways, our old habits, it doesn't just go away that easily once we are aware of something. We have to practice. It's like an instrument. You pick up a guitar, you practice every single day, you get good at it. So this type of awareness, we have to kind of practice it every single day. So I'll say the most important thing is to develop a high self-awareness. And with that, just to know the process, know your journey, know that there are going to be ups and downs, know that there are going to be obstacles. It is going to be tough, but at the same time, when you have that inner knowing, it shouldn't slow you down as much. It shouldn't block you. It shouldn't discourage you because you already know. Like I said, once you have this inner knowing, a knowing is a knowing. It's like a fact. It's like any type of illusion, any type of doubt, it would not linger as much as it used to, So to have that self-awareness is pretty much like protecting yourself from defeat. It's kind of like spiritually putting on armor, so whenever type of obstacle or doubt would come, it would just easily just bounce off of you. So that's the main thing I would say.
Cool. So when I hear you talking, I hear two things. The first thing that I heard is that to be aware, right? So now that you have knowledge, be aware. And obviously you like to talk about like self and being like, having all your chakras aligned and like being like kind of clean and pure and like, a great vessel for spirit. My favorite thing to talk about is manifestation. So immediately when you talk, like, this is what I think about. So what I heard when you were talking is to have knowledge and awareness and not let anything kind of shake you. So for me, it's very important that when you are like manifesting something and then you see things in your outer experience that like completely contradict what you're manifesting. So like, for instance, a few years ago, I was manifesting having more money in my bank account. Actually, it was last year. It was like last year. So I was manifesting having more money in my bank account than I've ever had before. And so, like you said, I was training myself. I was repeating it. And all of a sudden, I looked at my bank account and I had literally never had less money than I had in my bank account. And the reason is because I had to have awareness of how I was treating money and the ways that I was handling it. And I needed to know that something needs to change in order for me to actually get the more money than I've ever had before in my bank account. So it was that awareness of like number one, being aware of your outer experience and like, watch what's going on, because that's a projection of your subconscious mind. So if you have low money, it's like, hey, Amanda, like, pay attention. This is what's going on. You may want to change something. And then the second thing that I heard, which I think you've been talking about the entire time, is having confidence that you are infinite and that what you want is going to happen. It sounds like you really want to push people to know, like, hey, if you get jarred or pushed around or whatever, like, you're still going to reach whatever you want to reach. For me, it's always a manifestation, but you're still going to reach it. You just need to know that you're infinite, and you need to know it's happening. You need to know that you're powerful enough to make it happen. You need to know that you have support on the other side of the spiritual curtain, and you need to be confident. So like when I hear you talk, I just keep hearing that word confidence. How do you feel when I say that?
That's perfect. That's a perfect way to interpret it, to break it down. That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I feel inside. And that's just, I believe that's what it basically comes down to, like not only like having the confidence is the main thing. And then after you kind of get used to that, once you develop the habit of knowing yourself and having that confidence, that's when you develop the competence in order to manifest whatever it is and have the ability to just see these things through and reach all your desires. So that's definitely what it is.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me bring this story full circle because I hate telling a half story. But
Oh yeah.
After I realized that I had like low money, and I was like, oh God, like, I've not been treating money right. I did actually manifest having more money in my bank account than I've ever had before. And so actually, it's happened again. I was like manifesting that, and it's happened. Like, my bank account is popping. So I'm serious. I'm so serious. I suggest everyone, that's one affirmation, like, I'll never let go. I did it once and then I stopped, and then I don't know why, but I just started it back again. I have more money in my bank account than I've ever had before. Just say that affirmation every morning. It's what's up. It works.
Yeah.
You might get low if you need to be taught something, but like Curtis is saying, stay the course, have confidence, and understand that everything is to show you something.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so I would love to transition to self-love and how that helps, or if it helps. So
Yeah.
do you have anything to share with everybody about self-love?
Oh yeah, definitely. I say it ties in hand with this because in order to truly know yourself and align with it, you will have to have self-love. So I truly feel like, okay, let me rephrase this. I feel like self-love is the foundation. And with that, then comes the knowing who you are, because when we give off that love and energy, it's nurturing. And as we know, what we give comes back to us. So if we give ourselves love, with love comes that understanding, comes that wisdom. If people kind of treat themselves anything less of that, they're going to get that type of lower negative energy, and that's going to bring them out of alignment with who they truly are, because they're looking at themselves and everyone else through an illusion. But with the self-love, you see truth. Love is the highest vibration. Love is the highest form of truth, I feel. So when you have that type of self-love, you get a clear, just an unfogged picture of who you truly are from within. And I feel like, yeah, that is the foundation for everything else. On my YouTube, on my videos, I always end it by saying, there's a spiritual phrase in Lakesh, and it means I am another you and you are another me. So when we have that self-love, and if I truly know who I am from within, and I recognize, like, hey, you are another version of me. We are of the same source, the same essence. I understand we go through the same things, and we just have a instant connection. So I feel like when you have the self-love, you instantly have love for others. When you have that self-love, you can instantly spread and share your healing energy with everyone else who are open to receive it. So that's what I do when I but when I share the information that I've been through, when I share my truth, what I'm ultimately trying to do is just share love and share healing energy to empower people so they could feel that same thing within themselves. And then it's just like paying it forward. It just spreads. So when people align with themselves in such a way, with that type of self-love, it just leaves people open for infinite growth. And without that, it just kind of blocks people from that. Because we know what type of state the world is in now. Right now it's purely ego-based, ego-driven, and there's so many different types of resistance and hate in this world on a global level. And the people that participate in this clearly don't have any self-love because they're treating others in the type of way how they wouldn't necessarily want to truly treat their self, their souls. You know, it's not healing for the soul. So to truly have that self-love would just make a better world. It just spreads naturally. So I feel like that most definitely ties in to knowing who you are, because without that self-love, you wouldn't get a clear picture of who you are or a clear understanding. So that definitely goes hand in hand.
So how would you suggest that somebody gain self-love? And I have some ideas too, but I would love to hear what you say.
There are a lot of different ways. I believe I haven't really thought about it that much, because to me it just kind of came naturally. So I haven't thought of like, okay, how could someone else do it? But from just thinking off the top of my mind right now, I would say the main thing is to definitely just be self-aware. I feel like the heart wouldn't lie to you. You know, people listen to their minds. Their minds could be, people could be quote unquote brainwashed. People's minds could not be aligned with the ultimate infinite truth, but our hearts will always tell us the truth. You know, if we make a decision to do something and we know it's if we're going to harm another person, but if we make a decision to do it, sometimes we may still feel regret. We may deny it, but we still may feel it. So the heart never lies. So in order to find that self-love within yourself, I feel like we should truly, like, once again, develop that self-awareness and truly pay attention to your energy, pay attention to what's going on inside, because the heart will tell you, you know, your intuition in your heart, it will tell you if you are on the right track. So when it comes to how you treat yourself, how you treat others, the way how you view yourself and you view others, the type of perception you have on yourself and others, paying attention to your heart, it will just show you, it would tell you. I know there's some other ways. I really can't think of it right now. Maybe if you share what you was gonna say, and then I'll probably get some more ideas from there.
Sure, and I love that we're in the same industry and we have some of the same ideals.
Yeah.
But I find it always interesting. This is like literally the first time I'm speaking to a man on my channel or anything. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious if that's like maybe the difference in our gender, that, you know, like your ideas on self-love versus mine, because speaking to females, it's like we kind of all have the same ideas. And so you're saying something brand new, and I'm wondering if that's because it's you, or I'm wondering if males share the same thoughts. So if you're a man, comment below. I don't understand you guys. I'll be like, I do not. I don't even claim to. So if you're a guy, comment below. Let me know if you feel what Curtis is saying, and if you're like, yeah, like, bro, that made complete sense. So for me, I think that self-love is actually an action. So if you're in a relationship with someone, sometimes, I mean, you know, we are still human. So at the core of it, like, just loving energy is enough, you know, but I think that if you think about being in a human relationship and what you would appreciate constant nurturing of the relationship. Like, you're going to tell this person you love them. You're going to buy them flowers. You're going to do their laundry, cook for them. Like, you're going to take care of the person. So I think that one way to gain better self-love is not just like, okay, today I woke up, like, I love myself. I don't think it's not like you get there. I think it's a constant, like, I'm treating myself with respect and kindness and love. So a little story. there was a guy that I knew back in high school, and he, I guess, crossed paths with one of my friends on the internet and was like, oh, like, you know, what's up? Like, Amanda, how are you? So we got connected, and he was joking, and he's like, I mean, like, you know, like, what's up? Like, you know, how are you? Like, you know, nobody cares that you've gotten fat and blah, blah, blah. And I was like beyond offended. I was like so offended. And I went off. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I know we're just reconnecting, but I don't hang out with or associate with anybody who says things like that, even if you're joking. I was like, words are powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's cute. And he really appreciated it. He was like, man, like, number one, thanks for checking me. And he's like, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant, you know, if you had gained weight like every other woman on the planet, I, you know, don't really care about things like that. But then I was like, Amanda, you just went off on this man for saying that you have gotten fat. But what do you say every day in the mirror? And I was like, I had been, you know, for like that past like 2 months or something, I had gained a little weight, and I was just in the mirror every day. I was like, oh my God, like, why am I so fat? Why am I so fat? And number one, so he reflected what I was already thinking. You know, that's that awareness that we talked about earlier. Like, it happened in my physical world.
Yeah.
And number two, it was like, Amanda, like, you went off on this man, but you've been saying the exact same things to yourself. And from then on, I literally stopped. I was like, I cannot treat myself. I can't be mad at someone else for treating me how I've been treating me. And so, I got out. So, yeah, once again, to get back to self-love, treat yourself with kindness. Like, and that's it. Like, to me, that, like, when you treat yourself with kindness and, like, really take care of yourself and, like, are really into yourself, that vibration is the one that, like, emanates and people can feel it. And they're like, oh, she's being nice to her. Let me be nice to her, too. And it just works. What are your thoughts?
True.
From the masculine point of view? I know you don't want to subscribe to labels or whatever, but from the masculine point of view, how does that sound?
No, it definitely, you definitely painted a perfect picture, and especially I feel like that was it, and I feel like that was definitely more of like a divine feminine essence, not like on a gender level, but like just the divine female energy, and
of like nurturing. You're probably
yeah, exactly. And I feel like the way how I described it, like the route I was going, it was more of like a masculine side. It was more kind of like I don't want to see. I want to use the word selfish, but I don't mean it like in a negative way, you know, because like if we are all one, and if you're selfish to help others, you have to help yourself first in order to help others sometimes, you know. So I feel like it was more geared towards that way. At the same time, but I'm not probably explaining it the right way how I want to, but I feel like it was more of a masculine way how I explained it, and more feminine way how you explained it. But that's perfect, because in a situation like this, we have that balance where you can see like the duality of it, but it's all within the same concept, you know, so we get many different sides to that same source.
Okay, so summarize one more time and this is like just me, like just wanting to understand a masculine mind. Can you just summarize like one more time, like what self-love is or how you get it for a man?
Okay, so I would just say basically just to focus solely on yourself, and to see there's many different ways, because I feel like one way of self-love is to be just like 100% unapologetic of who you are, to own who you are, and to just be that. So there's people that may have a perception of certain people that I'm like, oh, this person is extremely arrogant, this person is cocky, they think this, they think they're all that, but it could just be them perfectly aligned with themselves and being 100% self-love. Not saying that they would disrespect others, but sometimes when people are so sure of themselves, they seem to, people perceive it as like they put themselves on a pedestal, but that's not always the case. You know, I kind of view myself like that, but at the same time, I put everyone else on that same pedestal. So I speak highly of everyone and everything. So it's like self-love is just knowing who you are, owning it, and not beating yourself up. You know, like for instance, if there's a case where like this is the situation that you gave, I would say from, I'm not sure if this is a masculine perspective or just my own perspective, but if there was a situation that I didn't like about myself and I kind of projected it and someone brought it to my attention and I kind of got offended, then if I felt bad about that, the way how I kind of manifested that into my reality, I would have to be okay with it and forgive myself. You know, self-love, I would have to forgive myself for all my mistakes and understand that, yes, I'm still a human being. I still have flaws and I'm going to make mistakes. But in order, I shouldn't really be so hard on myself, because just having that type of low vibration towards yourself is not self-loving. You know, like to love unconditionally is to accept whatever that thing is 100%. So I have to accept myself 100% and understand that, okay, I once had a negative view on myself and I forgive myself for that. So we kind of just let go of all that negative energy and fully accept who we are in the here and the now. And just, I feel like the best way to do it, like I really can't give anyone a step-by-step guide how to do it, because I truly feel that the best way to do anything is to learn it from within. So it's like, I try to give ways to show people the water, but they have to drink it. So I feel like just having that type of self-awareness, once again, just understand and pay attention, follow your heart won't lie to you. So when you have that type of self-awareness, if you catch yourself in a situation where you haven't been, if you don't feel that infinite power energy, if you don't feel or truly know how important you are, or if you don't feel important, then just forgive yourself for not doing so, and just try to be self-aware of how you view yourself. And like I said, it's all a practice, you know, day in day. Just like how if someone was in a relationship and they start dating, and their whole, I don't want to say the whole purpose, but the whole idea of the dating is to kind of to get to know that person, to nurture that person, like you said, to be kind to that person, to win over their heart, quote unquote, you know. So we kind of have to win over our own hearts and kind of just open a whole new realm to ourselves. A lot of people don't really view themselves as how they view others. We're always a lot harder on ourselves, you know. We kind of give other people the break. Oh, it's okay, I forgive you, I understand. But at the same time, we may hold little grudges from ourselves, and like it may not even be aware, like something that may be totally subconscious. But the fact that we develop this type of inner awareness, we can catch it and be like, oh, okay, have to be a little easier on myself, because I know I'm just going through a journey, I'm learning, and I see things for what they are now. So therefore, there's nothing but room to grow. You know, we let go of all that negative energy and create more space for that self-love to come in and to shine. So that's what I kind of feel.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so we are coming up on 45 minutes. So do you have anything else to share with everybody who's watching this?
Just like I've been saying this whole time, I mean, I feel like the most important thing that we have to kind of understand in life is who we are, what we're capable of, and at the same time, what everything else is and who everyone else is, you know? So to kind of create just this equal level playing field of sharing that unity of everyone and everything, and to understand that we are creators and co-creators, you know? So by me creating my own reality, I want to share this information to help other people be creators, and we just co-create together. Like I said, when everybody is aligned with themselves, I truly feel that this world will change. And I feel like that's one of my huge overall goals, is to change the paradigm of this world, to get this world a little bit outside of the negative aspects of the ego and into the soul. into nurturing ourselves, into nurturing our neighbors, nature, animals, everything we live with in existence. So it all stems from within. So to truly know who you are, have that self-love, to truly know, and we are able to just create this society for each other. So I feel like starting from now, if you're watching this video, just develop that self-awareness. Oh, constantly check yourself. The way how I'm treating myself, is this self-love? Is this what a self-loving person would do? Am I treating myself with unconditional love? Am I fully embracing who I am? Am I fully embracing others? Am I fully embracing the situation that I'm in? See, there's so many levels to everything, you know, how we treat ourselves, the way how we treat a situation, an obstacle, and other people, enemies. It's all the same thing. Like I said, we're all one, we're all connected, we all come from the same source. And I feel like everything could be learned from these things. It's all intertwined, you know? So I feel just really try to focus and channel that self-love within yourself. Take time daily to do so. Like I said, it's all a practice. Just like how we was to practice an instrument, practice this type of inner self-awareness to get that knowing, to get that confidence, to develop the competence in order to, you know, manifest what you desire. So those are my last words for today.
Thank you. Wonderful last words. Thank you so much. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Stop the broadcast. If you could stay on just after I press stop. But
Yep.
bye, everybody.
Peace.